Okay, hi everyone. We're gonna get started now since everyone's coming in. There's a sign-in sheet in the Zoom chat, so please sign in. Welcome to our LinkedIn workshop night. We're gonna get started now. Okay, so here's our meeting agenda. So first we'll have Tom and Knego talking about the HCA Mentorship Program. We'll do announcements. Then we'll talk about future events, our social media activity, and then we'll get on to the LinkedIn workshop. So first we'll have Tom and Knego discussing the HCA Mentorship Program.
Great, thanks for having me. And, I'll try to keep it brief, but I realize that our department, through the advisory board, I'm the president of the advisory board for the HCA, we're trying to revive an old mentorship program that went dormant for a long time. So we revived it about a year ago. And a lot of people, when you think of mentor, you have a different idea, I guess, of what that means. So I'd just like to tell you what at least I think it means, what I think you can get out of this. And you have a program tonight in which you're talking about networking. You've got a great person in Ms. Gleason to give you an idea of LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn. Mentorship is related to that. It's about how to reach out to people, to provide guidance, to get direction from them, to teach you, to look at your resume, to talk to you, presumably somebody that's less experienced in an area, to talk to somebody that's more experienced in an area, and to banter with them, and hopefully do it in an environment that's not judgmental. We all need mentors. You all have them, you just don't know that you do. We use our parents as mentors, our next door neighbors as mentors, our roommates as mentors, we co-workers, we all use mentors in various walks of life. And the best way of getting a mentor is to do it organically, which means it just happens on its own. You just ask a boss or a former boss or a neighbor or a parent or an instructor, can I pick your brain on this? How can I get a job in this industry? Can you look at my resume? Can you give me some advice? Those are the best mentorships, and all of us should look for mentors that are, again, are created organically. They're created just through your relationships with people in the world. Another way to get a mentor is to do a formal program like the one that we have here at HCA, where we have individuals that have graduated from our school or are on our advisory board or are in the healthcare industry in some way that have volunteered to serve as mentors to graduate or undergraduate or recent grads. In other words, for free, they're willing just to share their advice. You tell them what's on your mind, they'll tell you what's on your mind. It could be one meeting and it's done. It could last a lifetime. I have people that I've mentored for over 20 years. I have mentors of mine, relationships that have lasted for 20 or 30 years. I've also been in relationships that were one and done. Everything is different, and you bring to it, and the mentor brings to it a different approach. But nothing bad comes of it. You get a connection. You have a connection to an industry that you didn't already have. On LinkedIn, you'll be connected to their connections. And you have somebody who you can, for the rest of your life, so long as you keep that relationship with them, pick their brain. And people that volunteer to be mentors want to help. They want to hear what's on your mind, and they love to talk. Everybody loves to talk about themselves. And yeah, sometimes that gets a little old and a little boring to hear somebody talk about themselves, but I will tell you, people, again, that volunteer to be mentors really want to help you. They want to offer some constructive advice. What do you have to lose? Nothing at all by getting a mentor. So I would encourage all of you to go to your employers, go to your bosses, go to your roommates, go to your parents, go to your neighbors, especially if they are in the industry, healthcare, that you want to join, and continue to pick their brain. But you should also, from time to time, reach out to people that are in the industry and ask them, how did you get your job? What can I do to have my resume look like yours? Look at my resume. What would you do to make it look better? And take their advice. Now, is one person's advice going to answer all your questions? Of course not. That's why we all need multiple mentors. We all need people that we can pick their brain a lot. By the way, so I'm a lawyer. I went to law school. My mentors over my life, yes, my parents, but they were non-lawyers. I used a police officer that was an old baseball coach. I had 2 instructors at Cal State Fullerton that I thought the world of. They were my mentors for a while until I went to law school. Then I used a law school mentor, somebody that coached me on a mock trial team, somebody that I played softball with, turned into one of my mentors. Each of my old bosses, when I left them to go to a higher position, I've used as mentors. Do I call them a mentor? No. But do I reach out to them from time to time and ask for advice? Yes, and I would recommend that to all of you. In addition to everything that I just said, I've also used a formal mentoring process where I went to the school that I attended and I said, assign me somebody. And if any of you would like to be assigned somebody, we have some volunteers that have signed up. I must confess, we're a little light right now. So we have a new list coming in. So a few of you, and I recognize your names out there, you're waiting. You've already told me you want a mentor and you're waiting to be assigned. I know that you've asked for it. I'll get to it. We're working on it. But I encourage all of you that if you want somebody assigned, it could be one and done, or it could be a lifetime relationship, but it'll all be part of what you're going to discuss with Ms. Gleason in a little bit on how to build your network, how to use your network to enhance your skill set, your resume, and just brainstorm about things that you might be unsure of. So I hope that answers your question. To get started in this program, it's very informal. It's as simple as an email to me that says, I'm interested in joining. I'll send you a quick application. It's 5 paragraphs. You'll fill it out and we're up and running. It's really that simple. And there's no limitations to it. If you're a grad student, if you're a recent grad, if you're undergrad, you're all welcome to participate in our program. I hope that helps. Before I hang up, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Well, thanks, Jose, for the words there. You're probably biased, but I like that. I like your bias. They can be really, really helpful and really beneficial. And Jose, it sounds like, has had a really great experience. I do want to warn you, you know, a mentorship, you might get assigned somebody, let's face it, that's a real dud. There are a lot of duds in the world, and you might meet with them and just say, this person offers me nothing. Or you might be like Jose or some of our other mentees that have been somebody that really had a great relationship and they love brainstorming with them, and they get together and brainstorm a lot, whether it's over a meal or just over a chat. So don't be discouraged if your first mentor is a dud. It happens to all of us, but find them, and you can find them on softball teams, among instructors, your neighbors, bosses. You can find them all over the place, including our program. And if you want one assigned to you, please reach out to me. So no problem, Jezebel, just send me an email and I'm going to put it in the chat right now, what my email is. And all you got to do is just send me a note that you're interested. I'll send you an application and we're up and running. And I just shared my email. So Amy, I think they are all yours from here. I'm going to sign off. Best of luck to you, and I hope to hear from a lot of you going forward.
Thank you, Dr. Knego.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. I really appreciated learning about this resource so I can tell other students as well. And really great. You're doing a wonderful thing. And I hope the students know how fortunate they are to have this. I don't know of a lot of other majors that have this opportunity in our college.
I don't know of any, there might be some, but we're really trying to revive this. I'm a big believer in having a mentor. And again, some of the best mentorship relationships just happen naturally. They're not forced on you. But I'm a big believer in it. My life has been changed through a couple of mentors that I had. And one of them, it was a baseball coach. Believe me, you can get a good mentor from various places. It doesn't have to be what you think is a normal route. So again, thanks for the words. I'm going to drop off now. Best of luck to all of you, and I hope to hear from many of you going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move on to announcements really quick before we hand it over to Miss Gleason. So first things first, just a reminder for the dues. So it's $10 per semester for HCSF, and there's no GPA requirement, but we do require you guys to attend at least 3 events. And we do have a graduation stall, and we'll have more information about that in the next slide.
And then for UPD, our membership is $10 per semester or a $20 lifetime membership. And because it is an honor society, we do have a 3.25 GPA requirement. And for graduation gear, we have some more information over here. So graduation sashes and cords. If you could please fill out the form in the chat box as soon as you can to know if you're interested in getting either an HCASF sash or a UPD cord or both. Once we receive the graduation stuff, we will have a day or multiple days where we can meet up on campus and deliver the graduation gear in person so you can pick it up, or we can ship them out if a student does not live close to Long Beach. So we're hoping to receive these as soon as possible so that everyone can get their gear on time and take pictures of it. So we will put out more information as the semester progresses as well. Another announcement that we have is that we have 2 open treasurer positions in both of our organizations. So these positions are a really great way to increase your leadership skills. Our past 2 board members graduated in the fall, so we are in need of 2 new treasurers. And if you're interested, please either fill out the poll provided in the Zoom chat or reach out directly to our Instagram, or you can email us.
And in case you guys didn't know, we do have an advisory board speaker series. So what this is, the HCA department hosts these guest speaker events similar to what we hold as well. They talk about like different healthcare topics, but now you can actually attend to receive attendance credit in case you guys missed any of our meetings. We know that some of our meetings kind of go late into the night and it might be conflicting with schedules. So we wanted to give you guys this opportunity to make up the credit. But yeah, in order to receive the credit, you have to sign in, of course, and we'll get the sign-in sheet. So we'll be checking if you guys attend. And tomorrow's the first guest speaker series of the semester. And if you guys feel like you're gonna miss a meeting like in the future, I would recommend to go tomorrow or watch out for any other dates that they have. I know that they're sending out emails on Beachboard, and we'll also be promoting the events on our Instagram and Discord. So yeah. And then here is our upcoming events. So our second journal meeting is still being worked out. It's either going to be on the 10th or the 17th. And then we'll have an election information night either on the 23rd or April 6th. It depends on the second general meeting when that happens. But yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. But we for sure know that our third general meeting is happening on the 14th, April 14th, and it's going to be a little earlier in the day. It's going to be from 3 to 4 p.m. And we'll also have a guest speaker for that. So yeah.
You can connect with us on Instagram or our Linktree, and you can find the link to both HCASF and UPD's cash nets, graduation interest form, treasurer interest form, and more on the Linktree.
And lastly, here is our Discord. There's going to be, there's a link in the chat right now. So if you guys want to join our Discord, it's a really good place to chat with other HCA students. We also put on a lot of announcements on there in case you guys miss our announcements on Instagram or our emails. And yeah, I really recommend going on there. It's really helpful, especially if you want to find friends. I know things are still kind of like online, kind of. So I really recommend joining our Discord. It's really helpful. And we do have time to do a quick activity. So what we'll do is get into breakout rooms and just discuss what you hope to gain from the LinkedIn workshop tonight.
Just a minute as I set the breakout rooms open. This should be good. So I've opened them. And should almost be having everybody back. I think that's everyone then. So now we will hand the floor over to Amy Gleason for the LinkedIn workshop.
All right, everyone. Hello, good evening. Okay, oops, let's see what happened here. I want to make sure I can share the screen. There it is. Perfect. So I just want to introduce myself first because I think there are probably people here who I have not met, although I do see a lot of familiar names here. And it's quite amazing the turnout you have. My name is Amy Gleason. I am the career coordinator for the College of Health and Human Services. So I provide career workshops and individual appointments to undergrads. I know there are grad students here, that's okay. Generally, I am here to serve undergrads in the College of Health and Human Services. I do workshops every week through most of the semester, so I hope you are catching those through your Beach Board announcements. You should be getting announcements about what I offer every week. You can also find that information on the website for the College of Health and Human Services. You can make appointments with me to meet with me individually. And in fact, one of the things that I offer in individual appointments is a LinkedIn review of your profile. So I'm hoping everyone here, or almost everyone, has a LinkedIn profile. And when you have it to where you want it and you think you've got it pretty ready to be public, please feel free to make an appointment with me. I can do a top to bottom review with you and help you find ways to really make your LinkedIn profile stand out. Okay, so I want to just comment that I work with a lot of student organizations in our college, and I'm so impressed with all of our student organizations. But I need to tell you that this is the tightest, the most professional student organization I have ever seen in the college. Okay, and it's with no disrespect to the others. Everybody does a great job. But look at your turnout. You have 32 people here. You have just such a professional presentation, and you're organized, really, really. And this whole thing with your mentorship program, you've got it all going on in healthcare administration. And I think I will mention to Dr. Earliana that I'm just super, super impressed with everything that you're doing. So thank you for inviting me. Okay, so we're going to talk about LinkedIn. And this is not a workshop for people to teach you how to set up your profile. I think I shared that with Brenda, and I do want to just verify a couple things. So number one, Brenda, were you able to send out that LinkedIn checklist for people to create their LinkedIn profile?
Yes, I believe Dr. Martinez sent out an email to students.
Okay, you're right. She replied to that, didn't she? So did everyone get a LinkedIn checklist that comes from LinkedIn? You can do a thumbs up, or yeah, thank you, Jessica. Yeah. So this is what you can use if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, or if you do and you haven't updated it lately, right? You need to keep it updated, and you need to keep adding your skills and experience. Your LinkedIn profiles will grow with you throughout your whole career. You can change it as often as you want. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about how to maximize the use of your LinkedIn profile, because it is such a powerful tool. All right. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. So I'm going to make a comment too. If you ever come to my workshop, you know that I will ask you to turn on your cameras. You know, as I listened to Tom, who was wonderful this evening, I felt for him because it's a total drag for presenters to speak to screens and not know who they're talking to. And I felt like if you want to really show respect for your speakers, the way you can do that is to turn your cameras on. You can leave your volume off, but it's really helpful, especially because there's going to be interaction in my workshops. I'm going to ask questions, and I don't really want to talk to a black screen. Okay. And the other reason is you all have got to get used to interacting with each other, meeting each other, talking to each other, seeing each other, right? Because you are one of the greatest networks for each other. And you're going to have to get used to this because you're going to have job interviews that are like this on Zoom. The job fair is coming up. I hope everyone knows when the job fair is coming up very soon on campus. It's virtual. So you will need many opportunities when you talk to employers, when you talk to mentors. You can't be behind a screen. So get in the habit of turning your camera on, having maybe a virtual background or having your background organized, knowing how to introduce yourself. These are all things that you really need to know, but do remember that when you have speakers, they do appreciate knowing who they're talking to and seeing some human beings and not just a box. Okay, one thing I need to know in this group is where we're at with what year everybody's in. So I don't know if you want to do it with a raise of hands on your screen. Are most of you seniors? Will you raise your hand? I don't know how many seniors there are. You can do a reaction. Okay, I see a few. How many juniors are there? Okay, the camera, it's really moving around a lot. Okay, and sophomores, do we have sophomores as well? And maybe I should have had you put it in the chat, but okay. And are there any first-year students here? I see no, oh, yes, Selma, yes, Ashley T, is that 3? Okay, so we have a little bit of everybody here, is that right? Okay, well, that's great. But my message really is that if you're a first year or second year student, you don't actually need to have your LinkedIn profile yet, okay? You can have one if you want, but the time, well, it's in my slides, but the time to really make sure you have one is junior year. So if you're a first or second year student, you know, just kind of take this information in and don't feel like a pressure to have it all taken care of right now. Okay, you're kind of learning about what's to come, because remember that really.
Hey, Piranha gun. No, hey, Piranha gun. No, okay.
All right, let's make sure. Yep, camera mics are off. People aren't really going to be looking that much at your LinkedIn profile until you are ready for your internships and for career jobs. Okay, but you can have one whenever you want. All right, so this is what we're going to talk about today, is the ways that your LinkedIn profile can advance your career, how you can use it, right? I'm not telling you how to have a standout profile, although I do have one slide on that, but it's not about how to be a standout on LinkedIn. That's a different thing. This is how to use LinkedIn, how to be a researcher and find the connections, make those connections that you need. Okay, so there are 3 things I want to talk about. And we talked about this in our little breakout room. How you can find recruiters and hiring managers for the positions and the employers that you're seeking. Right? If you see a job posting, but you don't know who you can write that cover letter to, there are ways to find out who are the human beings behind this job. Also, the importance of connecting with your Beach alumni. So it was perfect to have Ed speak. I loved everything he had to say. I agreed with everything he said. Really making connections with alumni. You're part of the alumni. You're all part of the Beach community. And this is a community that wants to help, right? So use that resource. And soon enough, you will be alumni and you will be giving back to students. Okay, and then making sure you know that you can also get job alerts. You can do job search in LinkedIn. Some people don't think of LinkedIn as a job search engine, but you can use it in that way. All right, so let's begin with this. And this actually is for everybody, whether you're first year, second year, junior, or senior. I want you to ask yourself this question. Is your social media helping you or hurting you? This is the first step to take to figure out what kind of a professional image you are leaving in the world. And so what I'm going to suggest is that you Google yourself, and please do not do it in the presentation. You need to go into incognito mode, right? Because your computer already knows it's you. So you want to be a step ahead of the recruiters, because I assure you, as a career counselor, I ask employers and recruiters information to make sure that what I'm telling you is accurate and up to date. And I have a whole other workshop on this topic about professionalism, and I have the data of how many employers Google candidates, and it's over 2/3. It's like 80 to 90%. Okay, so when you have time later, please Google yourself in incognito mode and just see what's out there. What is the footprint that you have put out there on the World Wide Web? Okay, so let's look at this question, and we can put some answers in the chat, or just unmute yourself and throw out an answer. What percentage of employers have rejected a candidate based on their social media presence? Let's get some guesses.
79%.
49%.
All right, that's a good guess. Anyone else? Anyone else think that's too high? Based on what I just told you, you know that that is really high. And they are going to Google all of us, you, me, any candidate, at some point, either before they decide if they want to interview us, or maybe after they've interviewed us and before they offer us a position. Okay, so again, more than 2/3 are rejecting a candidate based on their social media, and almost 100% are looking at social media accounts. Okay, so that's the very first thing you can do to start to develop your own professional image. Okay, so just for a little review, making sure we all know, you invited me to do this workshop. I assume you know what LinkedIn is, but I don't know if everyone knows how powerful it is. Okay, so LinkedIn is a social network that focuses on the professional networking and career development. So it is the social media platform for professionals. It's international. It's amazing, right? It's just hundreds of thousands of professionals are on LinkedIn. You can use LinkedIn to display your resume or also your skills. You can search for jobs, enhance your professional reputation by posting updates and interacting with other professionals. And I would like to take this moment to thank, I believe, Jennifer, we are not connected, but Jose and I are first connections, and you are a second connection. I believe, Jennifer, you posted this meeting on your LinkedIn. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And I thought, oh, who's Jennifer? Okay. And then Jose reposted it, and I commented. And this is exactly what we're talking about tonight. This is how you become part of the conversation. This is how you get people to know who you are and to see you. But also, it's a way to really develop your professional reputation. And I was quite impressed to see that I was on LinkedIn and you made that beautiful flyer. And I thank you for posting it. But I'm also saying that this is an example of what you all want to be doing. Get active on LinkedIn. People will see your posts. All right. So do you have a LinkedIn profile? That is up to date. Let's just do a little review of information in case you're not convinced yet about how important LinkedIn is. So 98% of recruiters and 85% of hiring managers are currently using LinkedIn to find candidates. I mean, think about it. Where else are they going to find you? I mean, they'll come to the job fairs on campuses all across the nation, but that's not really efficient. This is the most efficient way that they can find candidates to fill their positions. It is the most important online tool for finding a job today. And you want to make sure that you're always keeping that profile up to date. Okay? And 87% of recruiters find LinkedIn most effective when vetting candidates. So again, they are going to really be looking at that LinkedIn profile, looking at recommendations, looking at the experience that's there. So I am going to give a quick overview because I can't resist, but I can't go into how your profile needs to be, but I do want to say just a few things about a model LinkedIn profile. And I've been using Jasmine for quite some time now. And I'm issuing a challenge to all of you. And I feel like in this group, we could do this. I search for model LinkedIn profiles in all of our CHHS majors because I work with people in all majors in our college. And I have a really hard time finding model profiles because there are certain components that have to be included. So I'm going to tell you what the three most important components are. Not the most important, but three things that will make your LinkedIn profile stand out. And remember that your LinkedIn profile is your personal billboard, okay? So first of all, Jasmine's not a healthcare administration student, right? She's not working, she's an alumna. So I'm issuing a challenge. I need someone who's gonna have a model HCA profile to connect with me, or at least send me a message and say, Amy, I'd like to be used as the model in your workshops, okay? So whoever that will be, you start with your background photo. This is something that when I do searches for a good example to show, so many people don't upload an image here. That is the intention of this. LinkedIn just gives you a template. Don't leave it like that, okay? Have a background photo that represents the work that you do, or something that represents you, like what you believe in, okay? Profile photos, really important. They're simple. They don't have to be professionally done, but they just need to be just like Jasmine's, just kind of shoulders up. Smiling is the most important feature, nothing distracting in the background, okay? I've seen some wild and crazy things in profile photos, okay? And then the headline is important. I'm not going to get into detail about that, but potentially thousands of people will see your name, your photo, and your headline when you like posts, when you comment on posts, when you share posts, right? So you want to really maximize what you have in your headline. Saying Cal State Long Beach student is not helpful. Right. So again, I can't get into too much detail, but you want to think about what do you want people to know about you? Here is the third component that is what I can't even use a lot of our faculty's LinkedIn for. So many people do not use this amazing feature of recommendations. And that is a model profile. I need to see at least one recommendation from within your network in order to consider this a model profile. This is a fantastic way to show employers that you have people who are vouching for you already, even before they have to ask you for a letter of reference. And if you see here on Jasmine's, it's hard to see, I know, but Jose managed Jasmine directly. Okay, so you can ask someone that you worked for, and they have to be in your network. You have to really grow your network. Every week, you should be adding more and more people to your LinkedIn network. But look at the second person, Eddie. He worked with Jasmine in the same group. They were colleagues, coworkers. All of you in this student organization, you are classmates that are working on a common goal and projects together. You could give recommendations for each other on LinkedIn. You could ask faculty, you can ask coworkers, people you worked for. Think about who you might want to ask. You can also give recommendations, okay? So that's just a super quick overview of how you would have a strong LinkedIn profile. There's many other sections that you need to complete as well, but this is something that is harder to find. Most people don't have all three of these features. All right, so when to create a LinkedIn profile. Seniors, you absolutely should have one by now. And junior year is the best time to get that going. Okay, because why? Because this is when people are going to start looking for you, and you need to start looking for people when you're going to prepare for an internship and you're doing job search and you just want to expand your network and your opportunities. So LIPI, this is this whole concept that you can become a LinkedIn private investigator. That's how it feels to me sometimes, even in my own personal job search history. It's basically using your investigative skills or how to be strategic in job search and networking. Okay, so how can you use LinkedIn to make connections that could really get you in the door as you apply for positions? All right, so I want you all to be thinking about a company that you want to work for, an organization you want to work for, and follow them on LinkedIn. Okay, when you follow companies, you get all kinds of information. They post jobs. Sometimes that's the first place they post their jobs. You can find the employees that work there. You can find alumni that work there. There's all kinds of information you can get when you follow companies that you're interested in. You can look up potential hiring managers on LinkedIn. And I'm not really getting into Twitter, but Twitter has also become increasingly useful for careers and job search. So you can also apply this to Twitter. Your social media posts and shares are gold. When you post something, you have no idea how many people potentially might see that. You're bringing attention to your personal billboard. You're letting people know your brand. And when every time you post or comment, people have the ability to see your profile. And that's what you want. That's what this is all about. And the reason you want to find potential hiring managers or recruiters is that you want to have a sense of them. You want to, first of all, get names if you need them, like for a cover letter, but also just knowing more about the person, finding maybe some commonalities like, oh, gosh, you went to Long Beach State, so did I, or so do I, or you played soccer, I do too, right? It helps to try to make those connections and find common threads to help build the relationship. So let's do some mock searching, right? So let's say you want to work for Molina Healthcare. Has anyone here heard of Molina Healthcare? Anybody? Yeah, they've definitely hired a lot of our interns. I worked there myself several years ago. As you can see, I have, if you look down in the lower right-hand corner, I have 4 connections in my LinkedIn network that work there, right? Because I'm connected to my coworkers that actually are all still there, which is amazing. I can look up employees, right? But when you go to a company that you want to follow or learn more about, you're going to see on the left side, you're first going to follow it. And then, of course, visit the website, like see what's there. Their job postings might be there. Sometimes jobs are posted right on the front page. But this is how you can start to really explore employers that you're interested in. Okay, so now let's say you want to work at Tenet Healthcare and you don't know anyone there. Okay, so I did this as an experiment to prepare this workshop. I do not know Tracy at all, the regional recruiter at Tenet Healthcare. So I did a search. First of all, I went to Tenet Healthcare. I could do the same thing at Molina Healthcare. And I put in the search, recruiter. There are certain words you can use in your searches. And I put in recruiter, or sometimes I'll put in human resources. Sometimes I'll put in hiring manager. Try different keywords and you get a list of people. So I was like, wow, look, there is the regional recruiter, and she's in Orange County. She's not the regional recruiter from New Jersey. She's the regional recruiter here. This is amazing. Okay, so I don't know Tracy, but oh goodness, she and I have 6 mutual connections. I've never even met her. So now I see that, like, my colleague Michelle Gomez knows her. So I'm going to reach out to Michelle. And I'm going to say, Michelle, do you really know Tracy Nguyen? Because if you do, would you please introduce us on LinkedIn and let her know that we work together, because I would like to talk to her about opportunities at Tenet. Okay, this is how LinkedIn works. It's not just your connections, it's connections. It's the common connections that people have. That's why you want to brainstorm and add contacts all the time. Family, friends, you have a personal network, a professional network. Your network for LinkedIn is not just people related to school and work. You can connect with your friends, you can connect with your family, right? Because they all know people. Everybody knows people. All right, so here's Tracy. And then I look at this. Okay, I'm serious. I truly did this randomly. Tenet, I don't even know why I looked up Tenet. And then I just looked up regional recruiter. And then look, we both worked at Molina Healthcare. So if I were to reach out to her for a job, I would say, you know, hello, Tracy. I'd love to connect with you. I'd like to follow you because I'm interested in Tenet Healthcare. I see we both worked at Molina Healthcare, right? Like, that's amazing. These are the kinds of things you want to do when you're going to connect. So please remember this, okay? And remember, if you connect with me too, okay? Whoever you reach out to connect with, it says, let me see here. Do you see? Oh no, I guess it's not. Let's see. It says message. Let me see. Okay, good. So you see where it says connect, the blue button that says connect. Okay. So when I push that button, it will show me this message. You can customize this invitation. You can add a note. And I'm here to tell you, I wish they would change the words. It's not can, you must. You must always add a note, okay? It's not only polite, but if you want to increase your chances of getting a response, you need to give them some sense of why you're reaching out. Why do you want to follow them? What is your interest? And it's going to be brief, but you do want to have even like a little template. You could create a template message. What are the 2 or 3 polite sentences you're going to say when you ask someone if they'll connect with you? Okay. Now I'm going to digress a little too, and I know I don't have much time here, but I want you just to see something that's interesting. I wanted to update this because I use this presentation and I change it for different majors. So I went back to look. I wanted to look up Tracy. I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on with Tracy, because it's been a while since I made that slide, right? So she was the regional recruiter at Tenet Healthcare, right? You all following me here? This is why it's helpful to see people's heads shaking, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, what is she doing now? Can you see in the lower left-hand corner? What is her title? Someone?
Cedars-Sinai.
Yeah, she is now Senior Talent Acquisition Advisor. Okay, that means recruiter. It's the fancy way of saying recruiter. She's now at Cedars-Sinai. Okay, and now I also want to talk about her profile photo, but the reason I put this little box in on the lower left, normally that would not be there. But when I looked at her profile, she had this post. Okay, she posted, networking is everything. And I was like, oh, this is perfect for this workshop, right? She's saying networking is everything. That's the whole point. And she's a recruiter. I want to just show you something. I talked about profile photos, and I guess it's so dark. I don't know why it's so dark. But can you see, I want to show you, can you all see her profile photo? And you can see her background. Her background is basically about Cedars-Sinai, number 6 in the nation, whatever it says. But I want to show you. All right, so here is her. Take a close look at her profile photo when she was at Tenet. What do you see in the profile photo?
is it some kind of like?
There's another person.
Yes. What parts of the person do you see?
Arm, hand.
The hand and a little bit of a side face.
Yes. You see a hand coming off her shoulder, and you see a very small part of someone's face that was just edited out. Okay. Now, Tracy is, super professional, and it's a beautiful photo of her, but this is exactly what I'm talking about, everybody. You can't use a photo that you cropped somebody out of, or like, I don't even know what's in the background, whatever's in the background, it looks like a window or whatever. You don't want anything distracting. So she totally bumped up her game. And can you see, even though it's dark, and I totally recommend you all could connect with her, right? She's someone you really could connect with. But do you see what she did? Her photo now. It's just totally professional, and it's simple. It's probably someone probably took it with a phone. Okay, you see the difference, right? There's no distracting background, beautiful smile, shoulders up. That's it. Okay, but anyway, so here is how you do those searches. You search by keywords using the titles, you find them, and you can request to connect, but always add the note. Okay, so again, just reviewing how to make those connections that could really make a difference with you getting information about a job that's going to be posted. I mean, I've had so many amazing experiences reaching out to strangers who continue to keep in touch with me and let me know, hey, we're posting a job next at the beginning of the month, right? You're networking, you're connecting with people, you're letting them know what your interest is, and they're seeing your profile. So that's why your profile is important, because they're going to see your profile photo. They're going to see where you go to school and what you study. They're going to see that you're a part of your student organization, right? They're looking, everyone's looking at each other's profiles. It's all good. So you're going to like posts that stand out to you. You're going to comment and share, become part of the conversation, and invite people to LinkedIn. You all should be linked in with each other. Everyone in this class, you can add 30 people to your LinkedIn connections by connecting with each other. So I love this. I love student testimonials. I received this back in June of 2020 after I did this workshop. Okay, these very slides that I'm showing you. A student emailed me. I love hearing from students. I always want to know what happens to everybody. And she said, I have great news. I had a recruiter reach out to me about a position opportunity. All I did was comment on one of their company posts. Say, this is truth. I didn't make this up. Thank you so much for all your help with my LinkedIn account. I feel more comfortable making more professional connections. I'm sending them my resume and cover letter soon. It's that simple. I mean, believe me, this doesn't happen that often. I was amazed. It's fantastic. But this is why you become part of the conversation. Because she made a comment on a company post, and somebody who is watching that post said, well, who's that student? She looks pretty sharp. Maybe we should reach out to her. All right, that is the power of LinkedIn. All right, so again, just inviting, connecting with people, because the power of it comes from your connections, right? And their connections. It's like a big web. So invite people you may already know to connect. Start with your friends, your classmates, your faculty, your preceptors, and alumni. Find the hiring manager on LinkedIn for the places that you're interested in working, or if you see a job posting. See if you share any connections, right? Several of you as students probably have shared connections. And ask your connections to pass on your resume with a brief recommendation, or by email, or just, hey, would you introduce me to this person that you know, or would you be willing to pass on my resume? This is what makes all the difference in the world. All right, we have an alumni mentoring program. Does everyone, is everyone aware of this? Yes, Jose is saying yes. I mean, I know you have this amazing alumni mentoring through your major, which is wonderful. But has anyone here ever used Beach Nexus? Yes, Jose, you have? Can you talk about that for a little bit? Like, who did you find?
I found an actual mentor in healthcare, and he was able to explore his degree. He had an MBA with a concentration in healthcare. The reason why I actually was able to access Beach Nexus was because I'm part of I'm minoring in finance, and I'm part of the College of Business's corporate mentoring program, and they use Beach Nexus, and it's honestly a very helpful platform that really links in your interests and what you're seeking to professionals with those similar goals and all that type of criteria. And it's very helpful because you can talk to someone if, let's say, you're interested in information systems. You'll see someone pop up in your feed of they're like a CEO of an information system in their company, and it's a great way to network, honestly. So
see, I love it. Wouldn't you rather hear this information from your own classmates than from me? If you have any more questions, ask Jose about Beach Nexus. It's amazing. This is an amazing opportunity. As your previous speaker said, maybe you'll have one contact, maybe you'll have 5 contacts, maybe you will know each other 10 years from now. You have no idea how it'll go, and you can have more than one mentor. But this is a really great opportunity for everyone in the beach community. Okay, I'm out of time, basically. Informational interviews are really important to think of as a way to structure the conversation. If you don't know what an informational interview is, just Google it, basically, because it's a very common strategy, networking strategy that is well known. The actual term, you can ask a mentor or an alum, would you be willing to do an informational interview with me? Do you have 20 minutes that you would be able to share your time? Okay. I'm also doing a workshop on networking, and I include more detail about informational interviews in my networking workshop. Okay. And your key networking question when you're talking to people, and that means at the family barbecue, neighbors, the job fair, faculty, whoever it is, your informal or your formal network, who do you know who? And I want you all to think right now, quietly, how would you complete that question? If we had more time, I'd ask some of you to answer, but who do you know who works at the VA hospital? Who do you know who is in healthcare finance? Whatever it is that you're wanting to know, make sure you're prepared to ask people specifically what it is that you're seeking, because people do want to help you. They just need to know what you want. And networking truly happens anywhere, anytime. So make sure you have, even if it's not a formal elevator pitch, have your introduction. What are you studying? What are you most excited about? What experience do you have, and what are you seeking? Be prepared with just a brief introduction that you'll be using whenever it is that opportunity comes your way, which is basically every time you talk to someone. You never know who people know. It's quite amazing. Okay, and then you've got your professional organizations. So I'm not going to go into detail here because I do want to honor your time and mine. It's been a long day for me as well. So make sure that you are pursuing not only your student organizations, which you all are as standout students, but what are the professional organizations that you can follow on LinkedIn? And who are the industry experts in your field? Follow them. Did somebody write a textbook that you really loved? Look them up on LinkedIn, follow them. Maybe they have a LinkedIn account. Okay, so Dr. Lutke has provided me with information about your professional organizations. So just for fun, I thought, well, let's see what's on LinkedIn, because not everybody's on LinkedIn, right? But here you go. Here is IHI, one of the Institute for Healthcare Improvement. This is a professional organization. And here is their LinkedIn group. Okay, so there are all sorts of groups that you can get connected with. This is supercharged networking. These could be international connections, depending on where people are coming from. All right, so LinkedIn groups. That's just the purpose of them. I'm kind of screwing, I'm going to go quickly through here. I think you know the value. This is actually how to join. It's an awful lot of information. Just make sure you can do a search and you select groups, right? You're looking for groups that are related to your major or your field. Okay, make sure you're aware that you can be using LinkedIn for job search. You can do job alerts. There's a whole section here, right? You see the banner, home, my network, jobs. And they're pretty targeted because they're using your profile. That's why you want to keep your profile updated, because they're pulling the keywords from your profile to give you the jobs that you said you're interested in. And my message for everyone when they're interviewing or on LinkedIn, wherever it is that you want to be feathers up, everybody. It's time to be able to introduce yourself, to be clear about what you're good at and what you're interested in, and to get comfortable telling people. This is not the time to be shy. And even if you're a timid person and you're not someone who likes to go to a big event and introduce yourself, there's lots of online networking. There's lots of one-on-one networking. Feathers up, everyone. You're going to do a great job. This is an outstanding group of students in this group. So I know several of you are already working and already have so much experience and so much to offer. This is where on the website you can find the links for our services. It's under students. And then there's a link that says careers. What I will be doing is following up with you, sending you a workshop survey. And with my email, there will be the links under my name. Anytime you get an email from me, you will see the links for workshops, how to make appointments with me, and also your career options page, which is really helpful if you want to explore what your career options are in your major. So there we go. I am so sorry to go over. I needed a little more time. That's why it's important for me to know exactly how much time I have. Most of my workshops do run at least 45 minutes. So thank you so much, everyone. I can stay for questions if you want, but if not, you can contact me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Okay,
Amy.
I am seeing all kinds of questions. Okay. I think we're good. Are we good? You can reach out. Yes. LinkedIn also has a help tab about, like, if you're questioned about the photo and everything, LinkedIn has a help tab that it can answer all kinds of questions for you. All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.